All right. Before we get into my team for the week, I just have Max's team to go through, which I forgot in the previous video, the Q&A. But it's his team for round 16. He's still at 557, so it's cool to follow someone in the top 1,000 for sure. That's where he's at. He's got the plans up there and everything as well. So 0 trades this week, sitting with 7 in the bank. Way better than previous years for me, yeah, that's for sure. Looking to offload Kohler next week. Not sure who to. Need around 19 mid or half. Not really worried about this right now. Going to pick one up closer to that time. Questions: is the team set up correctly to loop Marnie or Cook? Any overall thoughts on the team position? He has both Marnie and Cook. That's rough. You don't want that. You don't want to be looping 2 guns, that's for sure. But any overall thoughts on the team position? So 7 trades is pretty solid. You obviously Marnie and Cook. You just want to play whoever is playing first. You want them ahead on the interchange bench. Obviously, if they're playing the same game, it doesn't really work. So yeah, Reed playing earlier in the week helps. And if he, I don't know, what's the threshold then? Maybe a 48, 50? Probably take a 48 or 50. If Reed gets that, you probably take that and leave Cook where he is, which means you'd get Reed Marnie as a replacement for Grant. So just remember, guys, that is how this works, is that you get the replacement, but only in the starting team. No, there's no replacements from interchange to emergencies. It's only that top 13. So if your starting hooker doesn't play, you get the first emergency that is a hooker on your bench. So interchange first, obviously from 1 all the way down to 8. That's why it's ranked that way. So the only obviously 2 that he has. Outside of that, he's got obviously 14 players, which is the same situation I'm in right now, and being able to save a trade or 2 this week will be really, really helpful. So then you look to the following weeks for this side, and Damien Cook's obviously out next week with Garrick and Fafita and Campbell. So he's got 4 out next week. That's where Kohler might even be a hold next week if you have some trouble with an injury or 2 to, so for guys that are going to be out for next week, then could leave you with like a 15 or 16 playing next week. And if you don't have like a Grant to back up, that can be hurtful. Who else we got? Well, Garrick's going to be out already. Yeah, so it's just a Grant to back up from Origin. If he doesn't, you're already at 16. So just have a look into that for next week, and holding trades this week helps for that situation. So yeah, it's always cool to check out some other teams, but thank you for that one, Maxi boy. But yeah, it's got trades used 29, 15 remaining because we haven't got the 8 left yet. But as I said, looking forward to next week. He has Kohler as well, actually. So yeah, Kohler will definitely have to be traded. Forgot about that. He has 16 no matter what next week. So yeah, definitely don't trade this week. Look into probably making a couple next week is most likely how it's going to be. Round 18, you look fine. Round 19, you can pick that up when you get there. So really just round 17 will be your hardest, mate. Other than that, the setup's pretty good. I think McInnes is going to be a cool hold. Cook and Marnie. Yeah, Marnie's going to be helpful next week. Having 3 hookers is pretty wild. So you have to see how that one plays out. If Grant continues to be poor, maybe you can just play Reed and Cook for the rest of the year. We'll see how that one plays out. We got Fletcher Sharp. Yeah, Kohler's the kind of the poor one in the team. Outside of that, you're pretty well set, mate. Yeah, leave it at that. Thank you very much, Maximilian. There you go. All right, my team. As I said, no trades this week for me, so pretty simple. This one it is. We're just going to do the fantasy trades here, and I'll do a quick one on the Supercoach trades where I'm actually making some trades. But yeah, my side, I'm going to be looping Wishart. So he plays the first game tonight there against the Dolphins. So he is going to sit interchange 3. It doesn't really matter where it is, but I just like to move it down so I can muck around and play people, have people above in interchange 1 or 2. Just a safety thing if I do end up having to make trades or anything like that. They're not stuck in interchange 1. He's the first person that comes in. If he gets a 1, then he'd be the first person to come in if one of my halves or wing fullbacks goes out. In that scenario, I can move or trade in a player into int 1 or int 2, or straight into the starting side if they're not a vice or a captain. But in this case, if it was a vice, Wishart in 1 would come straight in. So just a bit of safety on that when you're setting up your teams is how I like to do it. But Wishart, we'll see how he goes. What I'm looking to take from him, because it'll likely be, it has to be for the wing fullback position, I'm looking to take anything sort of 38 plus, I'd say, most likely, given I've got Campbell as my other option there in that one. Because weeks can come down. So like a high 30s, I think, is what I want to take in that scenario from a Wishy. If that's the case, cool. He'll come down. We have Weeksy to muck around with as well with Galvin. So that's the way this can play out. If I don't want Wishy's score, I just move Weeksy down to Drinkwater's spot, and Galvin's going to come in for Weeks, which will be cool. So pretty simple at that. As I was going through in the video the other day, all my guns, well, people at a 600k plus, I got 13 of them. Hopefully the other guys continue to do well, make some cash, and leave me in a better position to get a Nicho Hynes over the next few weeks. That's for sure. It's going to be very, very helpful for my side there. And as you see with my planner there, we have a half we need for round 19, which is going to be helpful, obviously, there. With our half section, Galvin is our half that plays. So looking to pick up Hynes in round 18, I think is probably going to be the play. So not too much else to say on my team, to be honest with you there, having no trades to make this week coming. Next week, guys like Brayley are on the chopping block. I have 3 out next week, unless Fuller plays. 4 out if he doesn't play. So if Hammer doesn't back up, then I'll keep Fuller. If Hammer does play, then I'll be selling Fuller next week. Likely with Brayley, or I'll just do the one trade and then potentially leave Brayley as a piece that I can use to get to Hynes. So obviously, yeah, I'll need 2 players for that one. Fletcher Sharp could be an option for next week. I am sweet for next week. I don't have to bring in any players because Weeks will go down to wing fullback if I need it. Galvin comes in to half. I've got Wishart to play down there as well with Drinkwater. So that's the 3, which is cool. So I don't have to trade next week if I don't want to, but sort of Brayley, Fuller are the guys that are going to be on the chopping block. I think Piakura will probably hold to around 19, use him for that, and then see what's happening from there. Everyone else in the team looks pretty set for now. I will have guys like Weeks and Wishart to move on from, getting closer to around 19 or 20. So they're going to be the plays to start upgrading in those weeks or finish off round 19 with my players there. Iro is likely to be held. Galvin likely to be held. Garrick, Cotter, Piker, as I said, at least until 20 probably. Grant will likely hold. Brayley's going to go. King, Plath, Fainu, we'll find out with Fainu. Blore might go closer to around 19 as well, or he could be a piece that we use to in round 18 or something like that to get to Hynes as a downgrade upgrade scenario to get to that 850k or hopefully whatever he's going to be in, or 870 or something like that in round 18 there, unless he scores 70, 80, or if he goes 40, he might lose more. So yeah, that's probably where I'm at in my team. Let's just have a quick look at the head-to-head team now, because I think with 13 players this week, you should be making ranks. So that it should be fine. It's just how many. I don't have Teddy, so that's frustrating. But yeah, can't win them all sometimes. That's for sure. So there you go. Off to head-to-head team now. All right, so it's a little bit of an awkward one. I've only got 7k in the bank. And my main real trade out this week is actually Cole at 415. With only 6 trades left, I'd be fine to do that. I could also trade like a Blaze Talangi. And the player I would be looking at this week would be Whiten. And unfortunately, I'm 4k short from going Cole to Whiten just to cover that center spot this week, which is a little bit frustrating for sure. Can't win them all, as they say. But yeah, I think I'm just going to play with 12 for that reason. And head-to-head team in around 16 clash, you should go, oh, we don't really need to trade. But pretty much all of my leagues are playing this week. And this one here, I'm 8th. The 2 leagues where I'm 6th, I'd probably want to make sure I get the win. 6th, well, I don't have a fixture in that one. 17th in the Gargarov, which I think is, I'm in a little bit of strife. Let's just say that. Let's get into the ladder in that one there. And I am sitting at 6 wins, 9 losses. And to get into that 8, it's going to be pretty tough because I am 5 points behind, which puts me 3 wins basically, or a draw. 3 wins, let's say, to get into that spot. And how long do we have left? That's the real question. That's what we're up to. Let's go for fixtures all the way through to round 21. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds to go. And I'd have to win probably 5 of them, I think, to get in to the top 8. So I think we're in a bit of strife for that one for sure. But all the rest, we're in a pretty good spot. But yeah, I'd like to be getting wins in these couple. This 6, 8th, 6th, if we can, would be ideal. But yeah, I don't want to jeopardize the amount of trades I have left either. So yeah, I think we'll leave it at 12 there. Blaze Talangi is the one obviously we could sell, but it's not something that's super, a super standout kind of slam dunk pick. I think White will be solid, but then he'll be out next week. So it's like, well, I'm hurting next week just to help this week when I've got Fafita out, Campbell out, Garrick out next week. We might have Cole, You know, we might have Cotter as a backup. There's a few little question marks there. So if I just add another one to that list, then it hurts obviously there for sure. So it's no slam dunk doing that trade. Anyway, this week, I think it could be helpful if things go a little bit awry. I might do the Blaze telling you to whiten trade to get that 13 on the park. But yeah, I think we're in a solid enough position. In terms of captain or vice, I think we'll end up slotting Teddy with the vice this week instead of Harris, given he's been pushed to the bench multiple weeks. But having Reed there, having Tedesco, having Manu, I think puts us in good stead. This week are sort of our differences to my overall team. But yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it. It's probably 12 this week. May make the trade. Could get rid of Cotter. Cotter allows me to get to like a Farnworth or something like that in the centres. But, I'm sitting there with Garrick, with Talangi. I don't really need any more centres to go along with Manu and Iro as well. So longer term, it's just annoying that Garrick's out this week because I would have had the 13 in this squad. But obviously as a head-to-head team with a few... my comps that I'm not playing, it's not the end of the world having 12, so I think holding the trade's good, and we will work to get Hines eventually in the next bunch of weeks. But yeah, that's where we're at in this squad. Thank you so much for being here. I won't actually need Hines if I hold on to Brown as well, Brown Galvin. So yeah, we'll work it out. Maybe it's a better mid or something like that over the next bunch. But thanks for being here for the trades video again, guys, and we'll do a quick one on the Supercoach a little bit later today as well. Thanks, team. See you later.